Welcome to the Magma Classroom, our weekly digital painting study session in partnership with Wacom. This particular classroom series focuses on the basics of digital painting, starting with the fundamentals of value, shapes, light and color. We've done a good few apples and spheres already in previous lessons, tried our hands at some more interesting still life studies, broken down simple landscapes, and even run a gauntlet of timed exercises to speed up the learning process. These 1-hour study sessions are aimed at beginners finding their feet with digital painting, illustrators who want to tackle new subjects to grow their visual library, and more experienced painters wanting to warm up or wind down with something different from their usual work. I'm your host Ryan, the resident artist at Magma, and together we'll be sharpening our skills each week with a new subject to study. Top up your mug and grab your drawing tablet. While you wait, be sure to subscribe if you're not already so that you can stay updated about future sessions. We'll be getting started shortly. Welcome to the classroom, the second classroom that we're running today. Actually, we have another one concurrently with this where Udi is covering character design. So if that's the one you're looking for, head on over back to the channel. You'll find that streaming live as well. But today, on my session, we're going to be doing another value study. These are, hey, Eyebrow, welcome to the canvas. So let's get my right here. So yeah, if you missed the first session of this, we're kicking off our 2 months of the Clubhouse and Classroom streams in partnership with Wacom. Shout out, hello, thank you very much. We are kind of going back to basics, following or working on rather building our knowledge and our skills around values, light and darks. So we're doing some very simple objects, but painted white, just focusing on the values of it. Not worrying about color. We don't want to focus on that. Just light and dark. So I'm finding these really valuable to do because, you know, it's one of the core things that if you're not sure why your painting's not looking right, the first thing you want to check is your values. Now, let's get some music going here first. Because you can use values to really focus attention in particular areas of your painting. So that's why I want to really emphasize these kinds of exercises and the value that the value of values, the value of doing value exercises, because this will really help with any painting that you tackle later on. So, why is this music not playing? Come on, man, give me some music there. Okay, so I'm going to start off with putting down a background. Now, if you have been participating in our previous streams, you know how this goes. You can dive right in. But for those who are new and are probably a little earlier on in their painting journey, I'll kind of walk you through a bit of my process. I'll work a little slower than some of our other participants, I'm sure, particularly Eyebrow. So yeah, don't worry if you're a beginner. You can find all the instructions to join the canvas if you want to grab one of these down below here. You'll find all of that in the stream description. You'll have to join the Magma Artspace first, which will be the first link in the description. And then once you've joined that, you'll be able to follow the next link to bring you to the canvas. Okay, there we go. A little background music. Here we go, Tia. Lega. Cool. Nice to have you here. Feel free to grab one of the canvases down below. I do want to do one little thing before we get started. If you do happen to hear a bunch of shouting and hooting and music blasting, I'm living on a busy street at the moment, so there's lots of noise outside. Just want to drop a link for... Discord people know how to get you. It's fine, I don't need to worry about that. So let's go for it. I'm going to start by just dropping in a bit of a background. And if I look at what's here, now I've already got a bit of a gray background set up because I don't like... Lonely Lavender, hello Legav. See you there on YouTube. I don't like to work on a white surface. People know the experience of the dreaded white canvas. I like to go with the gray first. But this background is kind of similar. Let's see, it's sort of in between these. I've set up a brief value scale here. I'm going to start off real simple, just with a couple of values. Starting off with 3, actually, before I get into the strong highlights. And the background is sort of in between these, but I'm going to start with the darker one. Let's turn off the pressure to size here. That didn't work. There we go. Let's get full opacity. Thank you very much. Full density and flow. So doing these value studies, you really you focus on a bit of your edges. Hello, we got more people joining. Quickly dashed off to another canvas. Nice. Let's have peeps coming through. Now I'm going to adjust it a little bit. Let's get things a little lighter in parts. I just want to blend in a little bit. Just so we've got some variation in the background. Not too much. Could actually drop this down. But I more just wanted to separate the overall image from our canvas. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Okay, and then on a separate layer, because I'm probably gonna come back to this background layer. You can take any canvas, yes. Also a note, except mine. We have enabled Blaze for the duration of our streams. So each time you join the stream, you'll have access to our new brushes and such, and also you'll have access to more canvases along the way. So normally, as a free user, you can only have access to the first 4 canvases in a sequence, but with Blaze, you can get through the rest. And those who stick around for half an hour or more, participating in the stream, you will also get 7 days free Blaze. That's as part of our partnership that we've got going at the moment, and a way for you to experiment, get a chance to see what else is on offer in Magma. And you can redeem that once per month. So if you stick around today, you'll get this, and then next month as well if you keep coming through to our streams. Now let me be quiet. Well, not quiet. Let me move on to drawing. Because I'm going to come back to my background, I'm going to keep this on a separate layer. My background on a separate layer, and I'm going to sketch out. Just roughly plot in where some things are going to be. And I'm looking for a very simple like shape structure. Of course, we've got this, what would you call this? Tetrahedron type of thing? I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how many sides we got here. But anyway, this form over here, lots of different sizes. I'm not going to try and get all of that down right away in the sketch. I just want to get a simple idea of how things are placed. All right. Well, I'm looking for simple shapes to fit everything into. Right. So I'm just using this as a guide just to see how I can group everything. The tablecloth, for example, it's a bit of an L on the table, just like so. I almost said Netsua. Okay, South African coming out. So just a sort of L shape that everything fits onto. And I'm looking at where that sort of intersects around other parts of my canvas. Let's follow that angle. And I know this might look like a very simple exercise, and it kind of is. It's not always easy, but it's not complicated, which makes it a nice thing for beginners to focus on. The reference image I just found on Pinterest, and it had a bit of warmth to it, but I just turned it grayscale because I wanted everything to be black and white. Let's just get rid of this. Eyebrow likes working with his colors. Missing that. We'll do color still lifes a little later. Don't worry. Yes, I set the reference to black and white before you got here. Everyone's got the black and white one. Okay, we've got this ellipse over here. Ellipses are a tricky thing sometimes. So cruel. I know. This goes a little higher. I've got something kind of like that. It's a little off in my form here. That's all right for now. This is resting on the cloth. And we had this, I suppose, made it like a bit of a square, right? So let's just fit it within a bit of a square, and we'll get the rest in afterwards. Table edges there. Just send that all the way back. You're a very beginner at this. Lightning is cool. That's a cool name. Yeah, don't worry. That's totally fine. If you're a total beginner, that's all right. The idea here is not perfect painting. The idea is to take the time to go through the decision-making process to get us closer towards our reference image. And every bit of time you put in, every decision you make, it's a little bit of extra XP as you level up. Okay. So don't worry about trying to create anything super impressive. Just put in the time. And although the stream is only an hour, you're welcome to paint longer. I'll leave Blaze active for a little while afterwards. But anyway, you guys will all be getting that. So I'm just trying to find my forms. This comes down even more. Narrow this out. So yeah, it's kind of messy. I'm just sketching out to try and find things. I'm not worried about doing accurate lines. So I'm going to paint. Where do you even buy these? I'm sure people will just cast them themselves. And you can do this around the house. Just dip them in white paint. Ooh, I don't know why my internet's being weird. That's not good. That's not good. Why are you being like that, internet? Why, oh why? Let's see if I can adjust something here. Make sure that the correct Wi-Fi network is selected. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to go with this. I'm going to start off very simply. I'm going to create a new layer to put underneath my sketch. Not that the sketch really matters at this point. I'm going to turn off my pressure sensitivity. Got a big enough brush. And then I'm just going to try and block in most of these forms. This is new musics. Yes, indeed. I've been driving Eyebrow a little batty with some of our music. And I'm just blocking in, these white forms just to have the sort of silhouette roughly down. Angles this way. And down like that. Let's turn off the density pressure. I don't want that at the moment. It's just about getting the forms in. We'll do the idea is to work from simple to complex over time. So I'm just going in with the same value for these white objects. And then when we'll start changing that up in a moment. Now which did I use that one? The darkest thing here, I think the value here is going to be a little bit off. Let's go with this. Get the cloth in, but that's kind of already the background. So I'm going to go back to that light and fill in this shape. What do we have? It's helpful to squint your eyes a bit when figuring out these shapes. When it comes time to, well, in the beginning, when you're trying to simplify things, just squinting your eyes to see the simple forms. Hello, Harbour. Feel free to grab a canvas down below in the sequence panel. You can click the little film strip icon on the bottom left, and then you can pick a free canvas, and you can get cracking on the task. And then just again assessing some of our shapes. We've obviously got this dark one here, turned away from the light. You ran an origami class for kids today? That's cool. That must have been fun. What did you make? Or what did you have them make? So here I'm just looking now. I'm going into a darker value, just putting in simple shapes. If I do this, let's grab a color pencil. If I just show here, and I'm sort of grouping the values. I'm going to be off a little bit. Just very simply, if I look here, this is just kind of like a triangle dark value in there. So I'm just trying to get that in. It's so weird that my internet is... If my voice stutters, it's just, yeah. Traveling. One always ends up with funny interwebs. Ah, the classic frog. I always loved making frogs. I think when I first learned how to do them, oh, this is amazing. And hop around the table. And then we have a dark shape down here as well. Let's make this a bit bigger. I'm not worried about smoothing things out just yet. I'm just getting the values in. We can kind of group these values together. That's the other thing. Doing this grouping of values will really the process, and we'll smooth things out afterwards. I mean, I could drop in here just one piece. We know there's a bit of a change there. And then let's see which one next. Yeah, it's a bit darker too. So just slowly building up shapes. No, not trying to get anything looking too fancy and accurate right away. On this side, we also have that. We can kind of group this in as well. So now we can start just going with... Hey, Nathan. I'm glad you enjoyed our musical orc canvas last night in the clubhouse. So anyone watching who doesn't know, on Wednesdays and this coming Saturday... Why is my internet? We do a fun hangout, not a classroom thing, not a study, just a casual hangout, paint funny things. So yesterday our theme was musical orcs. Great fun. I'm still keen to go back and work on mine a little bit more. Get something that looks a bit more funky. Eyebrow was also there. Nathan was there. Oh no, of course this is fun. Oh, here we go again. Of course this is fun. But the intention here is learning. All right. I've got a bit of shadow that comes down here. So we have like a rough thing. We can start adding in maybe a couple of extra values to make certain things clear. Like this side, we know where our light source is coming from. It's coming from the top left, which is why our shadows cast over here. And our any planes, any sides that are facing over to the upper left, they're going to be getting more light. They're going to be a bit brighter, have a lighter value. Tomorrow's theme, we don't have a theme for tomorrow. We don't have any streams planned for tomorrow, but we do have one for Saturday. And the theme for that is Zelda. So all the Zelda fans, we've been playing the new game. Get your drawing tablets ready. That's going to be a good one. And my colleague Solomon is going to be hosting. I'm sort of on a partial holiday. So he's going to be taking over this one while I explore what food Istanbul has to offer. There we go. Now I can turn off my sketch layer, I think. And we have a basic, very messy, but basic set of shapes there that you can now start to define further. This side as well will be lighter. Oh, I've been enjoying it so far. Eating lots of doner and kebab and lamajun and baklava. Lots of baklava and tea at the end of the day. It's great. Some tasty photos. Yeah, maybe we do have his eyebrow nose. So we've got a clubhouse theme, delicious food, which I think that's next week's one actually. Wait, I've messed up this shape. What's going on here? Let's go like that. Lighten that up. So maybe I'll have to see what I find here. Maybe some weird fruits. We'll have to get Cybernaut in here to do some weird fruits as well. Not weird fruits, just really well done fruits. His still life studies have been looking really nice as well. And yeah, so here we go. Just slowly building this up. I could actually bring this down even further. I had it a little too high. And here as well, I can group this light plane. So it's facing to the left, still getting a lot of light. But the fun part here, once you move past just getting the basic values for each plane, and you start getting into the meat and potatoes of things on that topic of food, we can see that one side is not simply flat value, right? There's all this light bouncing around. So light comes in from the top left, hits this surface, and then bounces back into the shadow area of this object. So we got that dark corner, really strong emphasis here on this edge, but we've got that light value, that gradation in there as well. Here the shadow softens because there's also that reflected light coming in. So this is where things get really fun, and you can go quite deep into... Oops, I undid a couple of things there. Why is it doing this? Okay, that's fine. I can fix that up. Quicker to fix my accidental undo than to find the redo button. So yeah, this is going to look kind of messy for quite a while. My shapes could be better. So here, like, I know I've got that light value in there. And we've got sort of dark over here. This surface probably even be lighter. Yours is coming out wonky. How so? I mean, it really starts out pretty wonky. So I wouldn't worry about it. Just slowly start correcting in relation to everything else. So I would look at maybe the proximity of this object here, or what might be easier is to bring this one over a little bit, just so that these points are a little closer together, or make this bigger. You can do a selection of just that, increase the size. But yeah, you're off to a good start. I'd say you're off to a good start. Interesting. Does anyone know how to go about cleaning drawing tablets? That's not something I've ever done. I'm weary of trying the alcohol or the water, to be honest. I don't know. That's something worth exploring. The literal shadow realm. So the other thing with focusing on values that I want to bring attention to, when I spoke about how you can use value to bring attention and focus to a painting. If we look at this reference image, I'm going to just hide this here. The first place my eye goes to is where there's strong contrast. Yeah, so that's going to be this area here in particular. We have this very nice sharp edge, but also a strong contrast between the light and like a really light value and a really dark value. Some areas aren't going to be as strong. Like for here, my eye doesn't really go to this section here because the contrast isn't as strong. But here it does, and here it does. So you could use values to the way you place your objects and you set up your lighting. How those values come out you can set all that up in a way that guides how you want people to view your image and where you want them to focus. I suppose I can start smoothing out a little bit here. Let's choose let's turn my density pressure on, and you can start. But my edges look atrocious actually though. Comes out and then down. I'm going to use this as a bit of a guide. I mean, this is really dark what I've done here, probably a bit too much. Oh, we're already half an hour in. Eyebrow says just a standard monitor wipe should be fine for cleaning your screen down. This section is quite light too. Actually, put that in. really just need to neaten up my edges. Easier to do once, even seeing like subtle changes in the shape here. I just went with a straight top on my form here. Now when I'm focusing in and neatening everything up, I can adjust accordingly. Zoom out, I'm a little too zoomed in. Here, a little bit of extra light. This comes in like that. Toot toot. Bring a little attention to that edge. We've got a nice. It starts off kind of dark along this line here, but because we've got this reflected light, it lightens as we go towards here. Still a little dark on this section, darker in this section. Slowly, slowly, I'll get there. I've got this little thing in here. Even this would be a little lighter here. Here, even quite bright, actually. Here, I've got a little bit of light. No, it's the wrong way around. And if you find this a little too complicated for where you're at with your painting skill, you can also look for more objects like this on Pinterest, wherever, where it's maybe just a sphere and a cube, more simple forms, or an apple. We've done a couple of those already, and these will be maybe easier to start with. And you can knock out a lot of them in a short space of time once you start getting comfortable. But then you can try and do ones with different lighting scenarios. I haven't got one planned for the next 2 months, but I think doing these rapid or timed exercises again is maybe a good idea. Quite challenging indeed. Dun, 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 dun. Let's put this on, and I can start smoothing some stuff out. Smooth that too much because that turn is quite noticeable. How far down does this go? Almost to the base of this. So I should probably bring this right over. Your dice thingy came out wonky. Look at it in relation to the other stuff that's there and how you can correct it. It's a weird form, and it's one that I didn't immediately get it right either. So that's why I had to just, you get something down, and then you can start to slowly adjust it based on how the different planes and the lines relate to other things next to it. So now here, some things aren't lining up. When things aren't lining up, draw lines. Draw lines. So I'm going to look, let's say here, I can follow that line along and see where things intersect. How far over is this corner from here? And same with this. These are almost equidistant from each other. So I know to look for that. You can scream at them as well if things aren't lining up. Great strategy for moving forward. Actually, getting angry with your piece sometimes is good. My drawing lecturer used to encourage us to get frustrated and sometimes not to step away from the painting or the drawing that we're busy with, rather to get frustrated, keep pushing through it, because sometimes you just want to throw your chalk at the paper, and then you start, or like go at it with a much more aggressive and surprisingly confident line. And oh wait, that's interesting. So sometimes you just got to keep working at it, try and understand why it's not working. She also used to drive some people a bit mad, but force people out of their comfort zones. Yeah, of course it's all right if your sketch lines are still visible. I mean, you're using that to guide you. Let's try and get things in represented accurately. So it's fine if it helps you get close to there. Try and keep it on a separate layer if you can, just so you can hide it and see how things look. Because ultimately what we want is for the change in values to define our forms rather than lines. So as long as it's not like, comic outline type of thing, because we are trying to paint this. We're not drawing here, we're painting. So we're using the change in values to make clear what's happening with our forms. So like with this section over here, for example, this edge and this shape is what tells us that this is a rounded top that we have. And in some parts you lose a bit of that information. Here it almost blends in together where it's the same value. A kind of lost edge. We call that a lost edge. But there's enough information along the other side to tell us what the shape is doing. So maybe as you go a little later on into the drawing, turn off your sketch lines to see how clearly your shapes show up, or if it's still kind of not clear. And then you can see, okay, well, let me make this line a little stronger. So with doing white objects, for example, it's often quite nice to see, if we look at this fun little form here. and we squint our eyes, because we have this quite light plane, or in both these sections, we have these light planes next to this one. This is a lower value, right? If we color pick here, layer. Yeah, okay, just checking these. So right next to the edge, it looks like it's darker, and it kind of is, but ever so slightly. But you can accentuate that a little bit more to define those edges and the change in planes. Because sometimes the change is really subtle, and just to bring it out more clearly, we can make that section a little darker. So I've gone way overboard on the right side of mine. Probably adjust that back a little bit. It's a white object after all, so it's not going to have a super dark value across everything. Oh, you're doing this with a mouse? Oh, that certainly adds a challenge. You should get a Wacom. No, I'm teasing. Yeah, doing this with a mouse is going to be really difficult, I'm afraid. However, not impossible. I would actually say that doing this is easier than doing with than to try and draw with a mouse. If you try and paint with a mouse, it's a little easier. Only a little bit. But props to you for trying as well with a mouse. But because we're looking at shapes, you could even then, and it's a lot of back and forth. It'll take longer, but you could still, with your mouse, slowly but surely get your shapes right. Drawing lines is a nightmare with a mouse, but painting shapes can be done. Painting shapes can be done. So the interesting thing with doing, or the interesting and challenging aspect of this is that you don't have pressure sensitivity. So you've got to manually adjust your opacity as you go. And that's actually my first drawing tablet. Something went a bit weird with the drivers, and I wasn't getting any pressure sensitivity. I didn't realize. I thought the tablet just didn't have pressure sensitivity. It was also a Wacom Graphire 3 CTE 430, and so I had to constantly just adjust my opacity as I needed for different sections. So that's if we approach things the same way we did now with this painting, you put down very simple shapes of value first, keeping it down to like just 3 different shades of gray. Getting those down at full opacity first, then you can start adding ones that are slightly lighter, and go at it like that. But starting off really simple, then you slowly add more detail. The headache-inducing aspect of it? Yes, indeed. Indeed. Maybe we need to chat to our friends at Wacom about running another competition. Give you a chance to win a tablet. Stay with the 5 values. That's all you need. That's all you need. 5 values is all you need. So we've got a bit of a shadow here. it doesn't have to be a perfect representation of the reference in terms of things being super accurately placed or anything, but you want to be consistent with the light source, and you want to be able to show, you want that to be clear, that lighting information to be clear. Your planes facing the upper left are going to be lighter. We're going to have reflected lights, so capture that, and make sure that each plane, what I mean by plane is each side. So this object, each side of this is defined enough that you can see it there. Aha! Color picking from the from the reference. Normally, I recommend that people don't color pick from the reference because I want you to train your eyes to see and choose values accordingly. It takes time. It takes time, and that's why doing these exercises is so valuable. We're training ourselves to find these things, even with the color stuff. So try and find the color first, rather than color pick. So we learn how color works, because it's so interesting and complex, and it's got so much to do with the different relationships of colors next to one another. So if we put that time into hunting for the color, then we'll get better at color. But what I do is I will use, he said doo-doo. I will use my color picker over my drawing to kind of see how much of a value shift there is. So I can see, okay, with this plane it's like that, and if I look at my color wheel and I move this down, okay, there's a little bit of a jump as I move into the next plane. And I can see how big or small those changes in values are, and then I can apply that to my drawing as well. So using the eyedropper as a guide rather than actually picking the colors from it. We've got about 10 minutes left in the stream. I feel like only now I'm getting into it. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but we could definitely spend a bit more time here. You see, like, to exaggerate or make clearer the edge that I have on this funny form, I have to figure out what the shape is called. It's bugging me. The background is a darker value, but I've gone a bit darker than it is on the reference, just to accentuate that a little bit more. You're writing, demonstrating your malcontent with poster dots. Are you using the lasso fill there? That's such a great tool, hey? I was so excited when that got added to Magma. There's this one guy, I know he's got a course over on Proco. I just forget his name. I think his first, is it Sean something or other, but he goes by the name of the Shape Carver, and he works with the selection and paint bucket, which is essentially the lasso fill combined. That guy. Wonderful work. It's so detailed with that tool. So it takes practice. It takes a lot of practice. Scott Flanders, that's right. Thanks. I knew it started with an S. It wasn't Sean. Really skilled. Really skilled. Also, where are we at in the month here? Oh, could it be the last day, I think, to catch the schoolism special that's running? If you want to level up your painting skills. They have a lot of courses over on there, a lot of amazing instructors. Nathan Fowkes being one of them. Absolutely love Nathan Fowkes' work. But one day I'll get to shake his hand. Say, you're amazing, man. But yeah, some very fantastic courses there. So if you've got time, a little bit of funds available, it's worth checking out. I actually need to get myself somebody because I've been so slack this year with my subscription and doing the exercises. I've been revisiting Jonathan Hardisty's Understanding Textures course. That's helped me with 1 or 2 paintings I've been doing. Okay. Yeah, even we could just accentuate that a bit. Here too. Yeah, Scott Flanders. So good. Fabric, my unbeloved. Yeah, that can be a tricky one. And here too, really subtle changes in value on this darker fabric. My unbeloved. Okay, coming up on the hour. If you're not feeling too good about your results, that's totally fine. Just a friendly reminder that this is not about perfect painting. But it's good that we challenge ourselves. So here I definitely need to go darker. So I can't really see that this fabric is a whole other thing. So I haven't gone to like well, no, this isn't even a complete black. That it almost is. I feel like you're going Banksy mode. You're about to vandalize something. But I left doing, my going to the darkest value for much later, because sometimes we tend to go too dark too fast, which is why in the beginning I like to start with just these 3 values. Just picking them sort of in the middle. Although it depends on what you're painting, because when you're painting really light objects like this, depending on how it's lit, you're going to have a much lighter range. You're probably not going to have a lot of these darks, but we do have this kind of dark because of a dark fabric that this rests on. But if this was a white cloth, yeah, then we wouldn't have that. We wouldn't have that value. The stencily shapes. Slowly we'll get there. Could even go a little bit lighter here, maybe accentuate the shadow, although it's got plenty of accentuated light, I think. Yeah, I'm liking this. I'm liking this. It's getting there. It's getting there. Maybe it's time. Well, there's only 2 minutes left of this stream. You're welcome to call it a night. Go get some rest. There's no point damaging yourself. And yeah, Eyebrow knows your pain. I fear no one. I appreciate you guys coming to paint and join me in the stream so late where you are. Dedication. You will of course have Blaze active for the next 7 days, so feel free to come back to your drawing. Keep working on this. If you want to save it to your device so that you can bring it over into your private dashboard to keep working on later, you can do that. You can just go to your file menu, export as a PSD, or share it as a PNG if you want a flat image. Whoops, canvas restarted. Oops, there. Oh dear. There we go. Then you can keep working on it. Take as much time as you want. See how close you can get it. But otherwise, go onto Pinterest, find a bunch of these kinds of images. If you type in like white object still life, you'll get some things that come up, or just still life photo and turn it to grayscale. And you can do that within Magma. Right? You can go, once you bring your image in, I can demonstrate it. I take a nice little orange here. I had a couple of things. I can desaturate this layer by going to my filters, hue, saturation, lightness, and then desaturate, drop the saturation level to make it grayscale. And then I can use that as my study. Hey, TBT, welcome to the canvas. Joining a little late. We're about to wrap up the stream. Did they know that we're on the stream? Yeah, Pinterest is a trap. It's a trap. That's a distraction. Well, then other sources you could look at are Pexels and Unsplash for copyright-free imagery that you can then use for your studies. You grab a few buddies, start a canvas on, drop it on Discord, invite some others to study with you. But yeah, Pinterest is a dangerous place. Gonna have to do a speed run. What is the time where you are now? TBT? We're gonna take an hour, go through the exercise. CST, okay. It's midnight. Oh, 12 at noon. Okay, my bad. CST. I think of Singapore time for some reason. Anyway. Reblog without tags. Okay. Oh, they're talking about Tumblr. Okay. I want to keep drawing. I feel like I could just give me a month in the forest, my own little studio, just spend the month doing paintings like this. I like him a lot. So there we have it. If you are sticking to the time limits, the stream is now officially over. I'm going to spend a few more minutes though painting because I'm having fun. So with a blending tool. So, I mean, for blending, I never use a blending tool. I just drop the opacity and the flow or density, depending on what software you're using, and just slowly sort of massage values and colors into one another, color picking all the time. But yeah, something like the mixer brush or something something like the mixer brush would be cool to have. Get some nice effects with that. Have I changed this music at all in the session? I don't think so. Didn't even notice that it was repeating. I have to break down the one lengthy track into multiple parts because of the size that I can upload here. But I think I've figured out how to play from my system now. So in future, things will be a little easier when it comes to music. And it should play anytime now. Anytime now. Or maybe part of why I work so slow is because I don't have a blending tool that I use. No, this actually I spend a lot of time just fumbling around trying to get my shapes right. Shapes and my values. Detailing areas that don't need detailing. Over rendering to hide my mistakes. Which doesn't really help. Why is this music? Come on, play music. There we go. You have to give it some encouragement. What's up, Minty? Welcome to the classroom. We are about to wrap up. I'm just spending a few more minutes on my piece. But if you guys want to stick around, keep painting and still chat, although I think some of you are going to want to get to bed, feel free. Hello and good morning. Next week we're going to be doing. We'll shift to something a little more challenging. Oh, not a little. I think it's going to be very, very more challenging. We're going to be doing a grassy landscape. Okay. Seeing as we've got some grassy and foliage brushes now in Magma, I thought it'd be a good time to see what we can do with them beyond just getting some texture. So I'll prep a little thing. Won't have to be an exact replica of the reference material, but use it as a reference, as a guide towards something where we can just play with these brushes. Get our own nice little landscape. My favorite form of shading. I like things to be quite textural. So doing a bit of dry brushing. Okay, it's not. You can't really do that here, but in painting on a canvas, when you've got little bits of physical paint relief on the canvas, I like to sort of dry brush over things a little bit. But yeah, I like things to look like it's painting. I don't like things to look too smooth. When it comes to drawing, then yeah, I suppose I just go with simple cross hatching. Although I tend to mix around with drawing. I like where I do a bit of cross hatching and a bit of like dotting. Bit of pointillism vibes. Okay, Harbour, thank you very much for joining. You're in a doodling mood. Okay, well, go doodle. Go doodle. With reckless abandon. Okay, go get some sleep. Thank you very much, guys. Great time was had. Great work on your paintings as well. I'm going to go take a quick look. Lonely Lavender Art on YouTube. Okay, noted. Let's have a look there. Wait, let me start at the beginning. Start at the beginning. Oh, nice one, eyebrow. Fun time with the lasso full and those half tones. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so this is also a nice way to go about placing your objects, setting up a grid. Very cool what Eyebrow's done here. And you can use the intersections of the lines of your grid and the lines on your reference photo and then apply the same thing onto your canvas. Very good way to get accurate representation of the thing. You have here, we had Matic in here briefly. Nice. Got some of the little highlights on the edge there. Be cool to see a shift away from the lines and just into shapes of value. Helps with the size transfer too. Yeah, definitely. TBT, going for it despite the late start. Nice. Yo, look, Mom on YouTube. Nice. Look forward to seeing how things play out there if you're going to stick around. And then we've got here Harbor. Harbor and Minty having a little fun chat there, doodling. Great job here, Harbor. This looks great. Really good job. Got that nice reflected light in there. Planes are all very clearly defined. Good job. Radak as well. Radak is one of the other Magma members. Nice work. The folds in the cloth look awesome. No, it's not in it. I didn't spend any time on that on mine yet. Looking good. Who else we got here? Lega. Also coming along really nicely. Edges nicely defined with the different planes. Yeah, good stuff. Guys, keep me on my toes when I see all these good paintings. Ooh, is it lighting or lightning? It's lighting. Lighting is cool. Fun name. Lighting is cool, and that's the focus of these pieces. Good job here. I just try and neaten up this edge a little bit over time. Cool. That was a good number of people joining us today, and a great result for the time spent. So high fives to all of you. I'm going to end the stream now and try and figure out my dinner situation. Maybe I'll paint a little more in a moment. So on Saturday, just another little reminder, we have our monthly weekend Clubhouse stream. Solomon's going to be hosting that, so you can hang out with him. And then on Monday, same time, we'll be back with another classroom session. And this time we'll be doing a grassy landscape. Thank you, everybody. Let's find my little rollout track. Hope you have a fantastic rest of the day and upcoming weekend. Chat to you soon.